Hello, my name is Veronica, and welcome to the first episode, the pilot of the True Image podcast. I'm so excited to finally be doing this in a way that feels right and aligned. I think I've filmed this intro about 6 times at least. Some on camera, some just recording. Now, this is just going to be recording, but I do want to finally get this done and out because I just have so many ideas, and I think I've stopped myself over and over from actually just saying what I want to say, as we all do. So, finally, welcome to the True Image podcast. Now, I'm going to dive straight in. I don't want this episode to be too long as I'm just introducing things, but as I said, my name is Veronica. I have 4 last names. I am sat here with my relatively new roommate, Rilke, my kitten. And I want this container, this broadcast, to feel like this, sitting in a living room with people that you trust and going on little journeys through conversations and maybe some abstract concepts in as real time as I can produce them. As I do think in a lot of abstract concepts. But in general, my aim is to tell stories, either from my life or just things I've heard, and talk about ideas that are changing my life and, may I say, also revolutionizing my life, so that hopefully you can find something here for yourself too. Maybe it's revolutions, maybe it's just revelations, who knows. Now, I chose True Image for several reasons. Now, actually, only about a year ago, I found out that my name, which has many meanings, also has the etymological background of meaning literally true, vero, and image, which is Nika. And I believe that comes from Latin, but I just thought that was very fitting, not just because it was my name, but because that meaning, true image, is kind of what I'm aiming for. Now, and I'll get into this in a later episode, but I don't really believe in the concept of truth, at least not in the human experience. That doesn't mean that we cannot strive for it, though, and seek to find it. And that's kind of what this is all about, finding my truth, and maybe you'll find your truth in some of what I am saying, because none of our truths are all the same. And since I have the background of a storyteller, let's call it actor, writer, director, pretty recently, producer, whatever else, everything artistic speaking, or in the artistic realm, I want to also have the goal or the vision, let's say, of sharing behind the scenes of what those processes are like. I feel like when I was growing up and really wanted to get into these creative lines of work, I didn't have, or I never felt like I had a lot of not guidance, but I guess just like some kind of roadmap, some idea, not even like, go here and turn here, but more, this is what the map looks like in terms of what does it feel like to break into new levels of creative expression, but also how do you handle visibility, and how do you, whether you have that or not, by the way, how do you handle money in those creative situations? How do you essentially the behind the scenes, which to me was always the most interesting part of the creative process. Not to debunk or demystify it necessarily. I actually think there's huge pleasure in just allowing the mystery to be and suspending disbelief when you see a final product. But I mean more getting into the headspace of creativity, the how to about that. Because that to me is interesting and it's so individual and it looks different on everybody, but there can be, I think, a lot more sharing of stories around that. So that's what I would like to be here to do, kind of for a past version of myself, but also just in a way to document my own process, which is really scary, thinking about the fact that I could be putting myself out there in a situation where, people I know could see what I'm doing, but I'm actually more excited about who I could possibly meet, communities I could possibly create, and just my own little world that I want to establish. So that's the general rundown. And you'll discover more and more about me personally through my stories, through the content, through the art. And which, by the way, art and content are not the same thing. I will go into that also in a different podcast episode / YouTube video. I don't know yet. But just stay tuned if you'd like. If you're listening to this, I'm honestly really, really honored and grateful that you're here. And I hope you'll follow me along the journey. I'm super, super excited. And it's going to span things that I'm not even sure or things that I cannot even envision yet. So I am jumping straight in and taking a leap of faith and trusting that whatever I share will find the right people. And personally, embarking on a journey to find my voice, sharpen my vision, sharpen my style. And I'm excited if you're here for it.